Welcome to the Gaming Lodge, where we game till dawn. The official Until Dawn movie releases in exactly 1 week today, and ahead of the release of the movie, I thought let's make another video about the Until Dawn game, which is unfortunately not what the movie is actually going to look like. It's kind of going to be a cabin in the woods meets Happy Death Day, and it's ultimately only the name Until Dawn, and there will be some Wendigos here and there, sure, but yeah, it won't be a true inspiration from the game itself, but it doesn't mean we can't talk about the game like we've done hundreds of times in the past. Okay, we're back with a new tier list video, and this time we're going to be talking about who from the other Supermassive Games characters could survive the events of Until Dawn. And this is how our tier list looks like. Okay, we've done a somewhat similar tier list in the past, where it was a little bit more generalized, where it was just talking about which characters are the best or most skilled survivors. Yeah, just a little bit of a generalization, who's, you know, the one that will likely survive everything the most. In this case, we're going to be specifically talking about the events of Until Dawn and what is happening in them, and which Supermassive Games characters could survive them most of the time. Because this is the funny part, survival is not guaranteed. When it comes to Until Dawn and the Wendigos, survival is not guaranteed. Okay, which is also already like a big side-eye towards some characters that last time around were slowly alone at the top because they were above everybody else. But in this case, things will look a little bit differently. What tiers do we have? The first tier is they should make it Until Dawn. Skilled survivors, high chance of making it both physically and just intelligence-wise. They're making it Until Dawn is a really high given. They've got good chances. Yeah, I can definitely see them make it, even though I'm not 100% sure about it, but I can definitely see them do it. Survival uncertain means I'm not 100% sure if they can keep up physically, like all the chases and everything, or if they would be able to, do it intelligence-wise, survivability-wise. Then we have the Might Be Cooked, where the chances of them surviving are somewhat still there. I wouldn't call them 100% dead, but the chances are very slim, they will very likely die. And then we have Wendigo, which means they'll die. They will die, guaranteed. It's over. They'll be dead. There's a few characters we are not rating down here, which are either like, I don't know, not true characters that you can control yourself, that like interact with your story that much, like, I don't know, curator, like, you know what I mean, or like just some more minor side characters that we don't really care about much. I think you're fine with that. So let's start with Until Dawn. Yeah, we are going to be talking through the Until Dawn characters a little bit as well. First up is Beth. And Beth, for me, I luckily wrote it all down, that will make it all a bit easier. Obviously, Beth and Hannah, well, we kind of know what's happening with them in the game. That's obviously the difference between the Until Dawn characters and the other characters. We kind of already know what could happen. For me, her survival would usually be uncertain. Yeah, because she definitely seems smart and intelligent and everything, but like I'm not sure if she can do it like physically, like all the chases and everything the others did. And as we already saw in the game, she ultimately kind of risked her own life for her sister. Next up is Hannah, and obviously in the game she becomes a Wendigo herself, and she kind of really messed up there. But honestly, I don't think she would usually under other circumstances always die. For some reason I could actually picture her be able to make it maybe here and there. Yeah, I wouldn't call her a 100% guaranteed in that moment, yes, but like under other circumstances, who knows. Plus, if we're being honest, she is the Wendigo ultimately that is the most dangerous, so you know what I mean? I think it's fair to put it here. Ashley, on the other hand, I somehow feel goes down here, both because she's just mentally a little bit off at points and very easy to get through, and throughout the game we barely see her actually with any physicality. Okay, I mean, we saw her in those traps and everything, but like, if you put her in the same situation as Emily, I don't think she'd make it. I don't think so. I think she'd, most of the times, if not always, would be dead. Yeah, she got really lucky with how the night went for her in that sense, if she does survive at the end. Chris, on the other hand, in my opinion, high chance. We've seen him be able to do a lot of things, handle guns, he's athletic, he's able to, you know, really make a run for it if necessary. I think he has always high chances, and I think the only times where he dies is if you like either mess up, right, or because you just made the wrong choice or something. But like, think Chris, he seems like a smart dude. I think he usually has some really big chances to make it out the dawn. Obviously, same for Emily. We've seen what she's able to do, we've seen what she's capable of. Super athletic for her size, super fast, super smart, yeah, huge survivability instinct. The same does not apply for Jessica, even though I don't think she's always dead either, because she actually did look kind of athletic, and it's a bit unfair for her because she's always put into that spot where she's just dragged out anyways, and we then see her be able on her own to still drag herself through. Even if she's in an injured state at the end, she can do it on her own without Matt, so that is definitely respectable. But I think still, most of the time, I'm not sure if her survival instinct otherwise should put her up here. I think this is fine. Matt, on the other hand, is obviously from the group the one with the highest athleticism, true. And he has also portrayed some good survival instincts, or like good survivability, but I feel like he's only down there. I don't think I would put him onto this spot. I think I want to put him one below. Yeah, where I'm like, he obviously has super good chances, but I kind of see the other characters a little bit, have a bit of an edge when it comes to like the survival instinct. Yeah, Sam and Mike, I think we don't got to talk about that. They also go up here, very smart, super, you know, durable, obviously with a lot of plot armor included, true, but like we've seen what these guys could do. I mean, Mike was literally able to go face to face with the Wendigo several times, so you know what I mean. Josh is, in my opinion, due to his mental state, very likely cooked. Again, super difficult to like rate it in this sense, because when we see him in the game, he's like always abducted anyways, but because of his mental state, I'm not sure if he would be able to make it. Physically, maybe, but like once the mental aspect comes into play, would it heavily affect his survivability? Pretty sure it does. And now obviously, okay, does he always die in the game? Yes, but he's been doing that shit for decades. Obviously he has to go up here. Okay, under any other circumstance where it's not him being distracted by Chris, he would be able to make it there. Okay, 100%. By the way, I think we should still try to like maybe not just keep this in order of when they were placed, but like still maybe rank those specific tiers. I think I would do it like this for this tier, and he would usually be definitely up here. I would probably put Mike, then Emily. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. Again, he always dies, sure, but like usually, most of the time, you know, he always does it. And Wolfie is an interesting case because it's technically just a wolf. What would a wolf do in that moment? I think usually Wolfie had good chances. Obviously, he was able to survive on his own a lot as well. And when I think a wolf would in that moment be smart enough to like not engage, if you know what I mean, to like hide, to like hide in the shadows, to not be found and not be detected. Moving on to Medan, and obviously both Joe and Charlie have good chances. They're trained soldiers, or like soldiers in training. Obviously on the manhood ship, they got kind of screwed over by the entire gas thingy, so like if you put them in this spot in the mountains against the Wendigo, I think they've got some pretty good chances. Is it fair to put these 4 teenagers above them? Discussable, but I don't know, in terms of like power scaling when it comes to the characters, I think it's fair to keep them down there. Okay, you just kind of have to look at the power scaling aspect of the Supermassive games as well. It's a little bit ridiculous, I know, but like in this game it makes sense. Yeah, they've just really you just didn't see a lot of not. I wasn't even thinking at first, should I even include them or not? Maybe I should just put them here as well, because they're just some side characters in the beginning. Now it's gonna be interesting. Alex, in my opinion, got good chances. Similar to Matt, very athletic. He definitely got the fitness aspect down. He would definitely be able to go for those chases. And the survival instinct for Medan was also pretty solid. Brett, I am honestly uncertain about. He's definitely also... He got a good build and everything, and he's smart. But for some reason, in Man of Medan, he always seemed a little bit out of it. Yeah, I don't know, he just seemed like someone who would maybe make a mistake in the heat of the moment, who would freeze, possibly, you know? I think Brad is one where I'm not 100% certain. Conrad, good chances, in my opinion. He's not as athletic as either of those two, but for some reason he has a good instinct. Yeah, and he was able to do a lot of crazy shit and survive a lot of crazy shit there. I mean, he also was able to, like, do the entire ship thingy, right? Like, that's also something that I cannot picture a lot of other characters be able to do. Like, escape those 3 pirates via ship. It was pretty dope. Or, like, speedboat. So I think he has very good chances. Same for Fliss, who also, in my opinion, showed a lot of great survival instinct. Also super smart. I think she also got pretty good chances. Julia, similar case, uncertain. I feel like Julia, also similarly to Brad, was always one of the characters in Man of Medan who you just couldn't really 100% tell. Just alone also the fact that she would have gone up in the water without decompressing first kind of makes me think, ooh, she would maybe make a mistake here and there. Can't really 100% tell about her, kind of uncertain. And I haven't decided to include the pirates this time around, because I believe Olsen got good chances. And I'm gonna tell you why. He's a bitch. And he would 100% kill other people in order for his own survival. I feel like he's one of the few characters who would 100% say, hey, this guy is sturdy, he would do everything to survive. He would push one of his mates if needed for his own survival, if that makes sense. Obviously he went super crazy too because of the gas, but like before that on the ship he seemed very sharp-minded and very aware of what is happening, so I feel like he's got some good chances. On the other end, both Danny and Junior, in my opinion, also uncertain. Can't really 100% judge. Before that they were just like some henchmen, just typical average guys. I would put them somewhere there. Little Hope is an interesting case. Obviously because technically they aren't real, but like we're looking at the characters from the game itself. Andrew, in my opinion, good chances. He seemed pretty smart, he seemed pretty collected in his mind for what the game is showing you. Obviously he wasn't really, but you know what I mean. Angela, technically also, and she did also show a good amount of physicality, but I'm also not sure if the events of Until Dawn might be a bit too much for her. She is a little bit older, definitely. Would she be able to do that entire chase of the mines, maybe? Not 100% sure, if you know what I mean, right? I'm a bit uncertain about her. Daniel, good chances. Just another, you know, typical average dude who seems both smart and had some good survival instinct, shown many times throughout the game as well, in my opinion. He definitely got it, who could make it. John, I decided to also put into survival uncertain, but mostly because of the fact we put him fully up here though, just because, I don't know, he definitely showed some good physicality, but for some reason I just can't 100% say, yeah, he's always gonna survive or he's always getting good chances. For some reason I feel like he'd make a bad mistake. I kind of can feel that for his character. He would maybe make a bad mistake here and there. Definitely. Taylor, our beloved Taylor, uncertain. Can't really tell. Whatever. Vince, same thing here, just some random old dude. He might make it, he might not. Again, I did include some of the characters that I didn't include the last time because at the end of the day we mostly care about like the main characters. Vince is like a character you see and everything, but like you don't care about him as much, right? And this is where it's getting interesting. Because obviously, last time when we did that survival ranking, they're obviously on top. Obviously, yeah, who is the most good survivor out of these Supermassive characters? Obviously the highly trained soldiers. They're literally doing hand-to-hand combat with the vampires, yeah. But this is the interesting part. There's a reason why I originally wanted to make it Unto Dawn, but I ultimately decided to say they should make it Unto Dawn. Because even for those 5, I wouldn't make it a 100% guarantee that they can make it. Yeah, those vampires are not Wendigos. Those Wendigos, they're a different league, okay? They're a different level, yeah? Bit different. Celine wouldn't be able to do that thing with us, you know? He wouldn't be able to do that this time around, so there would definitely have to be some, you know? But they obviously still got the guns and everything and all of that stuff, so obviously I would still keep the stranger up on number 1, because obviously he was by far most well prepared at all times, and he was able to do that shit for decades. But other than that, I would definitely put everybody else above them, and I would rank it like this. Where I think Salim is on top, then Jason, then Nick, then Rachel, then Eric, in terms of like their power scaling, if that makes sense, in terms of survival instinct and skills and everything. Because funnily enough, those 4 obviously also trained soldiers and everything, similar to these 2, but I would put them a little bit below, because we've seen that they are definitely ones that could also make mistakes, like Clara's getting yeeted, even though maybe not really her fault, but like, you know, Joey got hit, Mervyn got messed up too, Adar, yeah, also got cooked here and there, but so you have to put them fully up here, and I would say Bam, oh god, Lairmid, then Joey, then Clara's. Yeah, I could picture them having some good chances, definitely as well. And this is interesting, because obviously these aren't survivors and whatnot, but I definitely wanted to include them. Their names are, oh god, I don't even have their names in my mind right now. But this is super fun. I'm including them because I want to put them down here. Both of them would be dinner for the Wendigo. Why? Because they're like kind of senseless thinking beings, right? They like aren't straight in their mind anymore, and they're just kind of, I mean, obviously why would they be in the Canadian mountains? Sure, but like in sense of putting them versus the Wendigo, it's kind of like a battle. The Wendigo would win, okay? The Wendigo would win 100%. Free chest, over, or decapitated, over, okay? They would lose, and that's the thing. They would try to fight, they would try to battle, and they would lose. Yeah, the other characters would try to survive, they would try to fight, and they die. No chance. The Quarry, super interesting, very, very, very interesting. Abigail, I believe, might be cooked. We don't see a lot from Abigail throughout the game. We see her shoot Nick if necessary, or necessarily, but like beyond that, if we put Abigail into Emily's position, ooh, I think she might struggle. I don't know, for some reason I feel like she just doesn't have that, or like at least it was never really shown for her to have that it factor in order to like have high chances to survive. I feel like versus the Wendigo, ooh, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, okay, she can escape Emma down in the cellar in a quick fashion if necessary, but maybe I'm underestimating her. Maybe we should put her in uncertain. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I should put her in uncertain. She did have a few good moments, but maybe like here. Yeah. And I mean, of course, our boy Dylan, he should make it. Okay, he's super intelligent, he's super smart, he would be able to understand the situation very, very quickly. He would be able to understand what's going on. And even though we like haven't seen him do like insane, like, actually I remember we did see him use a shotgun. Yeah, I think he should make it out of that. It's Dylan. It's Dylan. Okay, it's Dylan. On the other hand, I am definitely putting Emma, not it might be cooked, but also uncertain. because we've seen that she can do some stupid stuff, like opening the trapdoor. But she's also pretty good in chase. Yeah, so it's like a... You never know, it's a bit of a surprise. Sometimes she might be dumb, sometimes she might be super smart at a point. She's uncertain for me. Jacob, good chances. Not always the brightest, but obviously similar to Alex and Matt, very physically super good. He's definitely up there. Should I put Conrad up there? Yeah, I think he's super smart. He got that survival instinct. Caitlyn, I mean, obviously. Also, I would probably put Caitlyn even above Dylan, if I'm gonna be honest. I think she's also super smart, and she's definitely a bit better trained with the shotgun. Yeah, I think she would. You could put her into Emily's shoes, and I think she would kill it as well. Caitlyn's amazing. Same for Laura. Obviously, I would probably have to put Laura even above her, just because of her veterinarian skills and everything. Is it a veterinarian? You know what I mean, right? Super fair. In this case, I think I actually need to even put her above. Yeah, actually, I think we should maybe. Should I put her above Emily? Yeah, I think so. I think I should put you. Yeah. Dylan, I think it's fine to maybe put over Sam. Yeah, I think this is how it should be like. Yeah. Mike on top because he's like. He got the build and the gun skills, and then like, you know, those two behind that. But then maybe I should actually put Chris above Emily, because I don't know if Emily would be able to handle the shotgun. Yeah, I think that's fine. Max! I'm uncertain about that. I'm unsure about him. I don't know. Honestly, I would put him somewhat even lower, because he seemed pretty... What's the right word? Dead by Daylight phrase. Oblivious. He seems pretty oblivious to the danger at times, both at the beginning and sometimes even at the end, like going away from the island and everything. I'd have to probably put him next to Beth. Nick! You can't see much from him, but I feel like his survival's also uncertain. He's also kind of like dragged down by like riding, where in his game he's always kind of messed up and getting infected all the time. Obviously in Until Dawn he wouldn't be infected, but yeah, we put him probably here. Ryan should make it. Ryan should definitely make it. I would put Ryan easily right next to Chris. Maybe even above Chris. Yeah, I think that's super fun. I think that's super fair. Yep, Ryan also super skilled, good shot, good in chase. Like, in some way this ranking is kind of like ranking, you know, the individual stats each character is given, like how good are they in chase, how smart are they, they're about and things and whatnot. It's kind of like maybe a bit silly, but I think it's also super fun, which is why the Tierlist is so enjoyable. We're getting to the Hackett's, which is interesting. And Bobby, I would honestly consider... Where did I put him? Oh no, where did I put him? I put him into Might Be Cooked, and I'll tell you why. Because Bobby is not the brightest, and I feel like similarly to the werewolves, it would be like, yeah, let's try to set traps and let's try to fight him. Let's try to go into combat. Like he literally went out there, and if he isn't injured, he can literally like hold back the werewolf a little bit, which is crazy. And he would think, yeah, I can do that too against the Wendigo. Then, nah. Not this time around, bro. Sorry. So he might be cooked, but obviously he's like... Sorry about that. My body made some noise. Yeah, I feel like he'd be a bit full of himself. He'd overrate himself a little bit, and that might be his downfall. Chris, honestly, pretty good chance. He's got a good build. He seems smart. He seems... Yeah, I think he could make it, definitely. Constant, similar to Jedediah, I think both of them... Actually, no. I think Jedediah might also be cooked, because I'm not sure if he could keep up with everything happening up there. And Constance would die. Definitely. I don't think Constance on her own would be able to make that. If she had to make a run for it... Bye-bye. Travis, on the other hand, good chance. Definitely. Right above Chris. Very good chance. definitely. I think he's super smart. Honestly, maybe I'm overrating these two a little bit, by the way. Like, yes, they're trained soldiers, which, like, obviously gives them, like, the physicality. Whatever. Why do we even care about both of them? Let's be honest. Who cares about Joe and Charlie from Man of the Dead? We'll just keep it there. To the much more interesting Charlie in the Devleton B. And this is a bit similar to what we did for the survival ranking. Who's the best survivor? Erin, if we're being honest, she would not make it. Alone the cold weather up there would trigger her asthma. Like, she needs to stand still, but then she needs to gasp for air. Yeah, I don't think she would make it. Sorry, girl, we love you still. And everybody else, good chances. Good chances. All four of them had a lot of good moments, a lot of good survival moments. Definitely, they all seem to be pretty smart. So we definitely all put them up here. The question is in which rating? I'd say you here. I would put Mark on the same. Honestly, he went. He's pretty smart. I think I put him even up here. Jamie, I would put between here and Kira next to her. I think that's fair. And I did decide to include Connie because I'm like, what would a dog do? Would the dog just bark at the Wendigo and die, or would they be smart to hide enough? And I think we saw on Devil Me that yes, Connie is smart enough to to make it out. So I just put her right next to Wolfie. And it's interesting because once again we already included those two, so I thought let's include the Med as well. And honestly, the Med is a little bit of a weird case. Like, what would you even? Is he even human? Is he a higher being? You know, there's just theories and whatnot. Either way, I think he had good chances. He should probably make it unto dawn. I think he had the trick up his sleeve. For all I know, he just somehow makes a trap room in the lodge and traps the Wendigo in there, and it's over. I don't want to like ranking up here somewhere because, like mentioned, it's super difficult to rate him properly. But he's technically like an FBI agent or something. He obviously got the training, got the skills, he got the survivability. He's super smart. We just keep him up there as like a bonus. Yeah. And now the casting of Frank Stone. I'll be honest with you, like mentioned, in my opinion, the weakest game of the series. And I like also haven't really done a lot with this game since its release, but I think I could still rate the characters pretty well. Bonnie seems pretty uncertain to me, similarly to like Bev, where I'm like, I'm not sure if she can make it or not. Chris, honestly, same aspect. Chris kind of feels similar like in character to like Emily or Emma, but I don't know if she has like the same skills as Emily at all. I feel like she never really got the opportunity to show it because the casting of Frank Stone is such a weird game where the majority of time is spent walking around, you know what I mean, and not actually like trying to survive. So I think I put her right next to Emma. Yeah, I think I put her right next to Emma. Linda, on the other hand, I originally wanted to talk about both versions because I thought both versions are a little bit different. I put the original young Linda probably next to Andrew, but this Linda around next to Travis. For some reason, she seems she would be able to make it. Very, very likely. She gets pretty good chances, I'd say. She seems super. Yeah, she was super smart throughout the entire finale of the casting of Frank Stone. If you have her, if you let her be. Rame, uncertain. Similar case to Max. I don't know. He seems a little bit dull at times. Maddie, good chances. I put her right next to Linda. She also seemed pretty smart and like she could make it. Robert, same thing. Very bland character. I don't know. Uncertain. Who knows? Stan is somebody that I think might be cooked. Simply because, like, we saw what he did at the end of casting of Frank Stone, and unless you help him... Actually, no. You always needed to let him die. Because he didn't make a run for it, he just stood there. Okay? He had no idea what to do. I feel like once he's put into a truly dangerous situation, he just kind of freezes. Yeah, he just kind of... what to do. You know. This is not a cool case. Similarly to the two Lindas here, there's a definitely difference between the two Sams. I think the original Sam, the young Sam, not the original Sam, the young Sam got good chances. He's a cop. He seems super smart. I'd probably put him actually like next to Olsen or something. Again, maybe Conrad and Fliss are a little bit highly rated. Would I really consider Conrad and Fliss to have better chances than all of those people? Yeah, I still think so. But the original... And now I was about to say the ultimate Sam. What is wrong with me? Old Sam, in my opinion, I would put up here. I think he got that it factor. He seems like a veteran. He seems like he knows what he's gotta do. He seems like he's gonna make it. Big chances. And now for the finale. Once again, super interesting, similar to these two. With Frank Stone, and the champion. Yeah, like this is just some guy with a mask. And this is like an entity killer. I think you would die. Yeah, that Frank. Like, again, you can't really, it's weird to like, because in that case you're like rating what you see down there in the oven part of the factory. But like Frank, assuming you can't really judge, but he'd die. He'd think like, oh yeah, I can take that. And this is interesting because we did talk about Wendigo versus werewolf, Wendigo versus vampire. We also talked about Wendigo versus the ancient one. What would happen if you put the Wendigo versus champion? What would happen if you put the Wendigo versus the champion? Would the Wendigo also win? Or would the champion actually be able to put up a fight? Because similarly to these two, they would go for a fight. Definitely. He would try to go for it. He wouldn't hide. He would go for battle. So who wins? The Wendigo or the champion? And one part of me wants to say I'm uncertain, because he definitely seems like a little bit more than the other things we've seen. But on the other hand, I also think he would not be able to compete with the Wendigo, because once again, you don't see a lot from him in some way. You ultimately just see like a big guy that is brutal. You know what I mean? Just like a big mean killer. But like, once the Wendigo comes around and like swiftly jumps at him, he doesn't seem that durable. The only thing actually that might carry him, actually, oh hold on, now that I think about it, how is his armor looking like? Because would the Wendigo be able to cut through his armor? Would it be able to do that? Hold on, wait a second, never mind. The helmet, I'm actually not sure, but would it be able to go through the armor of the champion? Actually, there's not really armor. I got some chains in there and everything, and he just got that mask, but yeah, nah. I think he'd also die. I think he'd have better chances than those two, but actually I think he'd better chance than off, you know, but I think he'd die. Yeah, I think he'd be able to maybe put up a fight, because again, he won't try to survive, he won't try to hide, he won't run, he wants to do that fight. And I think he'd just die. I think he'd die. I think he would die. I think the Wendigo would have the edge. And that wraps up the Who Would Survive the Dawn tier list. Hold on, there. A lot of people where I'm like, they should make it on the Dawn. A lot of people where I'm like, they have good chances. A bunch of people where I'm uncertain, where I'm like, yeah, maybe, but also maybe not. Then a few where I'm like, ooh, they're probably cooked. I see very low chances. And just a handful, like only 3 real people where I'm like, they would probably die. I cannot see them survive Until Dawn, usually. I mean, Ashley technically can in the game, yes, but like, if you put her into a position of Emily, I don't think she'd make it. So what do you think? of this tier list. Do you agree with my ratings, with my tier list, with my thoughts? Thoughts down below from you in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't yet, and obviously stick around for more Supermassive Games related content. Obviously we are going to be seeing the movie release next week. I probably want to watch it in theater, but I definitely want to watch it online or something, and I might make a review video to it, even though we mentioned already know it's not going to be like a proper Until Dawn movie, but more a good horror movie with the Until Dawn name. Yeah, we'll see about it. I'm so excited either way. And yeah, like mentioned, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, your thoughts on the tier list down below in the comments, subscribe if you want to support the channel, and I will see you back soon at the Gaming Lodge.